So we smoked the living daylights out of all of our objectives and all got $50 Walmart gift cards. So I actually went out and I bought I haven't had a three-way snake light thingy, or whatever you want to call it. You know those lights that have a base, then they turn into 3 adjustable things with a bulb in each? So what I did was I went out and I picked up one of those. I'm going to felt bottom it so I can slide it across the floor, and I'm going to turn it into a lighting fixture for recording YouTube videos. So I have 2 smart bulbs, so I'll pick 2 colors, or I'll have it be blue. I'll fire those past me to light up the wall, and then I'm going to have a daylight bulb, either 60 or 75 in the middle, and I'm going to diffuse it to light me up. So it's going to be the crudest light fixture I've ever come up with for the dark mode like this, successor to the vlogs that I used to make. So I gotta find the right lighting combo and everything, but with the return of the MultimediaJay vlog coming to my YouTube channel and having a focus on the multimedia meta and content creation in general, as well as other stuff an AV geek like myself would talk about, including some technical stuff, because I have to focus on the technology, I think that's my concentrated coolness in this space, is I'm actually taking a look at the technology that these companies are working on, scary though it might be. And none scares me more than Facebook. I cannot believe that I had to... Yeah, we'll talk... That's the main focus of the discussion tonight. Now that I've now that I've looked under the hood of, so to speak, of Facebook gaming as a content creation platform, now that I've seen that, I think my golden age on Facebook is over. Civilization players, if you ever played a Civilization game, you know about what happens when your Civilization goes into a golden age. The next several turns are amazing. And of course, there's this big message, your Civilization's golden age is over. So that's what I think. Look, I've spent a ton of time on Facebook over the last 10 years, throughout the 2010s. But nowadays, I want to completely axe nearly all of my involvement in the platform. Unlike nearly all the pages, except for jokes and mindless fluff and maybe some local news, and not get involved anymore. Only have a token account just because I have family and friends who communicate on Facebook. That's it. Because the more I learn about Facebook gaming, the scarier Facebook becomes. I did not understand the delete Facebook movement that's been going around over the last over the last year or so. Now I do. And Facebook gaming, I think, is basically going to be the showstopper to Facebook's long-term competitiveness as a social media platform. I think once more people figure out what's wrong with Facebook gaming, namely that it's on Facebook, that's really the centerpiece of it all. And that the real names thing is such a showstopper, I think that Facebook is going to go the way of MySpace, no matter how big it is right now. You can never assume that a business is ever unstoppable, because time always marches on, and these businesses always find a way to develop some weaknesses. Nothing stays the same forever. This goes for content creation as well. YouTube in 2020 fundamentally runs differently than YouTube in 2010, fundamentally runs differently than YouTube in 2005. There have been some major changes just to YouTube alone that should be a wake-up call that things change over time. And in the world of business, I can tell you right now, once upon a time, Walmart looked unstoppable. That has changed in the last few years as the fight between Walmart and Amazon has picked up. That has changed, ladies and gentlemen. Never assume that anybody is invincible. Ever. Never assume that any platform is invincible. Ever. MySpace, once upon a time, was unstoppable until they weren't. Things change. When competition shows up, or if the market changes, things will change. The same thing with Blockbuster destroying the little mom and pop video stores over the span of their dominance until the market fundamentally changed. And we had Netflix. Netflix destroyed Blockbuster, according to some people, but they had to change to keep up with the times, and eventually now they are up against rights holders running their own networks because the technology has matured. Netflix has to develop original content. And from what I'm hearing about what they're coming out with nowadays, they're not what they used to be. Nor is the DVD service, DVD.com, what it used to be. So we may see Netflix go into the history books because things change. And sometimes people just get left behind. So anyways, so here's where I'm going with my YouTube channel. It's basically like I just started it. That's really it. Got to find out what to do with the algorithms, start the new series, and not let the channel become a trash dump of stream content, because stream content fundamentally has its limits. Namely that it was shot live. It can't be crafted into anything. You have to be super amazing at extemporaneous content to nail this down. And I know I definitely am not one of those legendary figures. I don't think anybody is. Just what technology can do for you with an editor is huge.